जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती विद्यादानी। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती विद्यादानी। तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई, तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जननी जननी हस्तकमल में वीण बिराजे। हस्तकमल में वीण बिराजे। जामे सब सुर गाए। हस्तकमल में वीण बिराजे। जामे सब सुर गाए। दूजे हाथ बिराजत पुस्तक। दूजे हाथ बिराजत पुस्तक। दूजे हाथ बिराजत पुस्तक। श्रुति वेद उपजाई। श्रुति वेद उपजाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती विद्यादानी। तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई, तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जगज्जननी जननी। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। सुर नर चरण मनाई। तेरो रूप भयो सब विद्या। सुर नर चरण मनाई। पद्मनाभ प्रभु चरण सरोरुह। सेवक के मन भाई। सेवक के मन भाई। सेवक के मन भाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जय जय सरस्वती विद्यादानी। तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई, तेरी माया कोई नहीं पाई। जय जय देवी जय जगज्जननी। जननी जननी
ओम नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः हरिः ओम। अन्तरायतिमिरूपशान्तये शान्तपावनमचिन्त्य वैभवम् तन्नरं वपुषि कुञ्जरं मुखे मन्महे किमपि तुन्दिलं महः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो नानपुंसं न च स्त्रीं नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। आत्मानन्दसुधापयोधिगलितं स्वानन्दगङ्गामृतं वेदान्तार्थवनान्तरङ्गमहितं ज्ञानाम्बुपूरं महत् स्तोकास्तोकरसानुभूतिरसबुग्हंसावलीभिश्रितं गच्छन्तं निजसङ्गभङ्गकलनाकारं तमीडे शिवम्। नित्यानन्दसुधाम्बुधौ समरसे वृत्त्यादिहीने शिवे आशावायुसमुत्थिता किल महाव्यामोहजालं जगत्। वेदाविष्णुमहेशजिष्णुविबुधा नागानराः साधवः बोधारण्यतृणावलीयमखिलं शून्यं शिवं शाश्वतम्। निद्राकालविनष्टबोध्यविषयः सोऽहं सुखी मन्यते सत्तामात्रशरीरिणं निजभगं बुद्ध्वापि बोधं नहि। जाग्रत्कालगृहीतकर्तृविकलं सर्गादिसत्ताभ्रमं सत्ताहीनमिदं नु सर्गकलहं पश्यन्ति विश्वं निजम्। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। We have been contemplating on the lakshanas, the signs by which one recognizes sthita prajna. Actually, these marks are given not to probe into another person. It is only to stabilize oneself in oneself, or just to meditate, that's all. It is just to meditate. Actually, this is the perfect meditation on Ishvara. A jnani is also called Ishvara. A perfect meditation on Ishvara is how a jnani walks, how he moves about, how he sits, what language he uses. The language that he uses becomes Shastra. The way he sits becomes, the moment you see, your mind becomes quiet, meditative. The way he moves about, works in the world, it becomes a perfect ideal for doing action without motive. So these are the things that Arjuna is asking. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. What is the way of communication? How a Sthita prajna communicates himself? How he is able to transmit his state to a deserving person? It is not possible for a jnani to give realization to everyone. If it is possible, every jnani would have done that. Even Ishvara would have done that. We should not ask why so, because the only reason the Shastra gives is nobody wants it. You want to play. As Ramakrishna says, you want to play, play. When you are fed up with game, with sports, come back. Then Divine Mother will give you that jnanam. So the question is, Bhoga apavarga pradayini. That is the Shakti. She gives you all the bhogas. When you are fed up with it, dispassion comes, vairagya comes. And your own heart longs for realization, for that Vishranti, which we yesterday spoke, that restfulness, that quietude. When that longing arises in your heart, then the same principle which gave you mother's milk, the same principle, not even that, the same principle which was feeding you inside mother's body, in the womb of the mother, as a fetus, that same principle, when you took birth, it was Srishti Kartri. When it gave food for you in the form of milk and other arrangements, it was Palana Kartri. And the same force at last comes as Anugraha Kartri, in the form of a guru, in the form of a teaching, in the form of an awakening. That awakening, jnanam itself is also a Shakti. Pure self, there is no movement. So that jnanam also is a Shakti, it wakens up within. So that happens in the presence of a Jivan Mukta who is established in his self. The effort that he has employed in withdrawing from the world, withdrawing his senses and mind from the world, and collecting all the psychic energy, physical energy, prana, everything becomes one bunch, and it is offered as swaha in the inner fire. And he abides in absolute contentment, tripti. And a ripe person, a deserving person, when he looks at such a Mukta Purusha, recognizes like this. How does that recognition happen? See, one of the great saints, Manikya Vachakar, he wrote one verse. He said, he was going in for a business, royal business. He was the minister of the king. So on the way, he was inwardly a evolving devotee. There was so much thirst, longing for the Lord. And suddenly in a village, somebody said, there is a great guru, master here. When he went there, he saw a great being sitting under a tree and so many disciples. And the moment he saw that master, in his heart, a recognition arose. Shivan avan ena therinan kanka. He says, I do not know how I recognized him as Shiva. Shiva means what? Shiva means the deathless principle. the birthless principle, the complete, Purna Vastu. That is how a disciple recognizes the master, not as a person. Shivan avan enat therinan kanga. I saw him as Shiva, as Parameshwara. So that very recognition happens in the heart. It is the inner self which tells you, here is what you are seeking. Here is the principle that you are seeking. So that is a language, And that bhasha is the bhasha of the enlightened beings. They speak in that language. Mauna bhasha, nothing to speak. Dakshinamurti sat in quietude, and great sages like Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, they were all sitting. Not only them, Narada, many others were there. And they all gained that repose in the self. Not only doubts were dispelled, the doubter, the ego itself disappeared. Chitram Vatataror Mule Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. There is only one way of speech, and that speech is Maunam, silence. Shishyastu Chinna Samshayaha, and all the disciples, all their doubts were dispelled. Doubts dispelled means what? When all the doubts are dispelled, the mind abides in the Atman, in the self. So, that kind of language Arjuna knew. He is not a mediocre person. He has seen so many Mahapurushas. See, the very question is very not easily understandable, because this questioner is also a highly evolved person. We simply say evolved person because many commentators on Gita, they put Arjuna to the lowest level, mediocre level. They say Arjuna belongs to a mediocre intellectual. That is okay, because when we say like that, you can identify with him. But such a person cannot attain that state. And Mahabharata says Arjuna is not different from Krishna. So what Krishna wants, that Arjuna will ask. Sattvam dvidha sthitam. In Mahabharata war, Ashwatthama remarks, it's foolishness we think that we can separate Arjuna and Krishna. It is Sattvam ekam, only one being, dvidha sthitam, two forms. So it is impossible to win him. So that kind of, so we should worship Nara and we should worship Narayana and we should worship Gita, that is Saraswati, and we should worship the author Vyasa, the sage. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam is Narottama, no? Adorable one, noble one. Naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayed. After that you enter Gita. Then you will understand. Not partial. No? You take only Krishna, no Arjuna, no. See, there is a confluence here. Somebody is sitting in the flag, a perfect jnani, Hanuman. So he is a perfect being, the embodiment of Gita. So he is there, Arjuna is there, Krishna is there. All this makes up the Shastra. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. O Keshava, what is the mark of the man of steady wisdom who abides in samadhi, means in his real nature? Sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta. Will he speak? Kim asita. Will he sit? Vrajeta kim. Will he move about? And there Bhagavan comes out with the answer in the next verse. We'll see. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Prajahati yada kaman सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येव आत्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. This is the perfect definition of sthita prajna. Actually, the second line is more important. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. One who finds joy, happiness in oneself. Atmaratihi, atmatushtaha, atmamithunaha, etc. The Shruti says. His delight is in his self, his contentment is in his self, his fullness is in his self. So he has found that perfect happiness in his own heart. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. Sthita prajnastatochyate. That line is enough. One who has found happiness in Atman, he is sthita prajna. Not in the body, not in the mind, not in the world, not in the senses. The happiness is one's real nature. Sukha Swarupam. See, in deep sleep, every day there is not even a speck of unhappiness. Because the very nature of the self is Sukham. If body, a little bit of body you are able to smuggle into deep sleep state, you will find misery. A little bit of mind if you take there, misery will be there. I, a movement of I is there, misery will be there. So nothing exists there other than the thing, other than that Sat, the thing in itself, that solid reality, consciousness, that beingness. So what is its nature? Its nature is happiness. Anando brahmeti vyajanat. You are not experiencing Ananda. Ananda is Brahman. That realization puts all searching, all seeking to a stop. All seeking ceases when you find happiness as the very nature of the self. Anando Brahma. So once you know that, sthita prajna, the intellect becomes sthita, it becomes steady, stable. No kind of oscillation. No flickering, no fickleness. All fickleness comes from ignorance. No? And how it all came to a stop? Sarvan partha manogatan kamani yada prajahati. This is the moot point. Buddha, as Siddhartha went to many masters. I think it is 6 years or 12 years. Buddha's tapas austerity. We can take it for 12 years also. So many years he did. He strived with tremendous sincerity, and at last in Gaya, the Buddha Gaya, before reaching there, he decided without attaining that sthita prajnatva, what they call as Buddhahood, is what Bhagavan is referring here as sthita prajnatva. Without attaining that Buddhahood, which they call as Bodhi, without attaining that Bodhi, I will not come out. This is Kshatriya, no? Was a warrior. So much determination. So he decided, see, we will also decide till breakfast or till lunch. So with tremendous determination, he entered the forest. And ultimately there is a verse, very beautiful verse, which Swami Vivekananda loved very much. He said, he sat there under that Bodhi tree, and he said, Ihasane shushyatu me shariram. Let my body disintegrate in this seat. Tvag asthi mamsam vilayam cha yatu. The skin, the bone, the flesh, let all become one with the mud. Aprapya bodhim, without attaining that state of Buddha. Bahu kalpa durlabham. All the teachers, everyone has said it is not so easy to attain. It can be attained only through many yugas, centuries or thousands of years. So that bodhi, without attaining that bodhi, naiva asanat kayamadaha chalishyati. This body will not move from this seat. With that kind of determination, with that kind of will, Siddhartha sat under that banyan tree. And he was striving, tremendously striving. All other things were given up, everything given up, even food given up, water given up. And his body became like a dry grass, only bones, nothing. In that state, when one day he was striving, he went to take bath in the Phalguni river. They call it as Niranjana. That Niranjana river, while coming back, fell down, collapsed. Because no food, no water, nothing. Then one small girl, her name is Sujata, she brought some milk, some goat milk, and gave it to him. The moment he drank that milk, energy came, strength came to meditate. He went and sat under the tree and decided no more torturing the body. We have to find the middle path. And not only that, we have to rest in the real being. And very beautiful, what he recognizes is not some new state. He suddenly recognizes, even while I was a child, in my father's garden, I used to sit under a jambu tree, quietly, without thinking, no thoughts, still. That practice was there. Why not regain that? In between, he had practiced hundreds of sadhanas. All those sadhanas later on Buddhists took from him. Whatever he did, see, all those were lying around in his psychic orbit. Whatever he has done. So the seekers, they all took various sadhanas. But at last, what he regained is his natural beingness. And sat there. And there he found the only disturbance is desire. Desire in any form takes you away from your real heart, real being. Any kind of desire. See, desire is a kind of what we call compulsion from within. Some compulsiveness. You want this, you want that. It makes you a beggar. So you observe it and become dispassionate. No more asking. The Upanishad says, Ihaiva. Yada sarve pramuchyande kama yesya hridishritaha. अथमर्त्यो अमृतो भवति अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते. इहैव तैर् अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते. They attain Brahman here. Yata sarve pramuchyande kamaha. When all the desires leave the mind, you need not do any sadhana. No sadhana can give you realization. No spiritual practice can give you Atma Jnana, because Atma Jnana is not the fruit of any spiritual practice. The sadhana is only to rescue you from all other practices. Every spiritual tradition, they find some new sadhana. Even Buddhism, they found Tibetan Buddhism, they will be doing something like Mani Padme Hum. Why? So much time is there what to do. Leave without giving any routine. If left free, we will create trouble for ourselves. One Christian priest was praying. He said, Lord, rescue me from myself. God asked, from whom should I rescue? Rescue me from myself. All the rituals are only for that. To rescue you from your own mind, your own body, your own senses. And the best place to escape is to remain in a sacred spot. Either it's a satsanga or a temple or somewhere you are kept elevated in a higher level. So that is the best place that you can stay and escape from these forces that can pull you down. So that much you can do. But ultimately you will find, give up all the desires. Even the desire to attain God. Ashayai arumin. Ishanodu agilum ashayai arumin. Ashai pada tunbam dane. Ashai vida inbam tane. Said one great sage, Tirumular, he said, cut the desire, cut the desires. Even to God, cut the desires. The more and more you have desire, the more and more you have craving, tunbam, suffering comes. The more and more you give up, evacuate the heart, the mind. You become free, light. This is something which we have to contemplate. Prajahati, prakarshena jahati. Shankaracharya said, prakarshena jahati, with force, with power. And what is that power? The power of vairagya. With power of vairagya, parityaji, tyajati, yasmin kale, ichchabhedan, sarvan hi partha manogatan, manasi pravishtan, hridi pravishtan. These are all simply synonyms. All the desires squeeze you. They strangle you at last. Because to desire something other than the self is necessary. When you find the truth that nothing exists other than the self, then what will you desire? Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva abhud vijanatah tatra ko mohaha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyatah. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva abhud, one in whom all beings are realized as his own self with the power of knowledge. Tatra ko mohaha, no more delusion. If delusion is not there, kashokaha, no more sorrow, no more grief. Ekatvam anupashyatah. It is not that you are seeing ekatvam once, constantly ekatvam anupashyatah. Anu means incessant, following, after one, always. There was one great Vedanti in Kerala. His name was Balakrishnan. He was a professor, but a great jnana nishtha. Constantly like a hamsa. He used to constantly remain in that state and say, Ekameva Advitiyam. Whenever you go, only that will be there. Everything is Brahman. Everything is pure consciousness. In Malayalam we will say, Shuddha Bodha. Once, his own some devotees will come whenever I am in Thiruvananthapuram, they will take me to him. So, once they took me to his room. There was no conversation. I had nothing to ask. So he just kept his hand in my shoulder and with so much joy looked and said, Ekameva Advitiyam. That's all. Nothing. And then just was smiling with so much joy. Ekameva Advitiyam. One alone exists, nothing else, no one else. Neha nanasti kinchana. No duality exists. Once you know this, what deserves your desiring? Who deserves your desiring? You have Sallagi Pallava Pritam Ivebam Nimba Pallavaha. Ashtavakra Samhita says, when you give sugar cane to an elephant, will it, you put sugar cane here and some neem leaves also. Will it take the neem leaves? It will not. With such sweet thing is there, like that. You have found the most sweetest thing in your heart. The most beautiful thing in your heart. The most secure spot in your heart. No more wandering about. All wandering happens because you have not located that sthanam, that spot in your heart. Once you have located that sthanam, normally habitual desires will be there. Due to the habit, practice, that is why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, what are the obstacles for a person who is in contemplation, in self-enquiry? Bhagavan said, habits, imagination, desires. These habits, mental habits, they are all mental habits. So these things have to be transcended. That is called prajahati, with the force of satsanga, with the force of contemplation, manana, nididhyasana, with the force of, see, nothing can help a seeker like a company with a realized sage. That is, take it for granted. Krishna tells Uddhava, this is one of the greatest spiritual secrets. Sugopyam, the most powerful secret. When you have, Ramana Maharshi has written one verse where he says, when there is that great wind, Malaya Maruta. Malaya Maruta. Malaya Maruta. And the breeze, Malaya breeze, we don't know whether it is a kalpana. It could be only a kalpana. It could only be a poetic imagination. Where they say, when that Malaya Maruta comes, all the trees becomes sandalwood. Whichever tree it touches, they are all transformed as chandana. So when stalavrintena kim karyam labdhe malaya marute. When you have this Malaya Maruta, will you keep a hand fan, Vishari? You won't use it. Because so much soothing breeze is there. Like that, when you have the presence of a master, then you don't need any other sadhana. It helps the best way to cross the boundary, the border of mind. See, this is a great bottleneck for seekers. Generally, it is not that much easy. From the standpoint of the seeker, it is not that much easy. We say the truth is the most simplest thing because it exists as your own self, as your own beingness. But we are given these two nonsensical, ridiculous things, the mind and body. We are not, but we have to handle it. Handle it in such a way that it will not sit on us. That is the problem. So there, you have to do a sadhana of not doing. The best sadhana of not doing is to abide in the presence of a higher being, or keep in contact with sages, or in the temple somewhere. And here also, we have powerful stream of desires in us. There also we will create trouble, and for us and for others, for everybody, and will go out. So this kama, this desire, kama is not simply lust, any desire, any powerful desire, any drive. So they are manogatan, manasi pravishtan, hridi pravishtan. Those desires, they make the mind. And one has to somehow see that one is no more under their spell. That can be done by, generally about 3/4 of it happens in Vairagya. Even before you come to the teacher, even before you contact the master. Only when 80% of things you are disillusioned, then only when you see a sage, you feel, this is my terminus, my destiny. Swami Shivananda Saraswati used to say, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, during Bhagavan's centenary, birth centenary, many wrote articles about him in Mountain Path. Not birth centenary, some 50th year of something, Bhagavan. So, that time Swami Shivananda wrote an article in which he wrote, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is the destiny of human life. Is the terminus, is the reaching point, goal. You find him, you see him, you recognize this is possible. The only purpose of a Jivan Mukta living in this world is to give you the message, intimation of immortality. There is one poem of Wordsworth. The name is, I don't know what is there in that poem, but the name is very beautiful, Intimation of Immortality. When you see a Jivan Mukta, you get the intimation, the message that your real being, your real self is immortal. Deathlessness, Amritasya Putraha, as the Upanishad says, Shrinvantu Vishve, let everyone listen. Amritasya Putraha, those who are children of immortality. Aye dhamani divyani tastuhu. The Upanishadic sage says, even those who live in the divine realm, Devalokas, let them also listen. Vedaham etam purusham mahantam. I have realized the self, that Parama Purusha, that Bhagavan. Aditya Varnam, he is shining forth like splendorous sun in my heart. Tamasaf Parastad, no more darkness, no more doubt, no more desire, no more engagement, involvement with the non-self. All darkness is gone. That is what Buddha also, says. Everything is gone, no more rebirth. I have found that bodhi, that nirvana. So that kind of confidence comes, and you know that you are bodiless, you are mindless, and you abide in that state, deep sleep like state, we have to say. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Samadhisthasya, Arjuna said. No, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is deep sleep like, because like deep sleep, there is no body. Like deep sleep, there is no mind. But clear-cut awareness is there, because you have entered that state through manana and nididhyasana. So, kimapi satata bodham. As Shankaracharya puts it in Viveka Chudamani, kimapi satata bodham. Something. Kimapi means something. Something profound. Satata bodham. Constant awareness. Kevala ananda rupam. It is of the nature of non-dual bliss. Kevala ananda rupam. Nirupamam. Like what? You cannot compare it with anything. So, nirupamam. So, something parallel to it is there. Ativelam. Nityamuktam. Only thing is, you feel that is ever free. You are ever free. Niriham. No desire, no action, no mind movement, no intellect itching can happen there. You are aware, that's all. You are awakened, that's all. No body, no mind, no ego. Nothing happens there. Nityamuktam nireham, niravadhi gaganabham. Avadhi means border, limit. That limitless sky, it is radiant, effulgent, lustrous, like the limitless space, akasha. Nishkalam, no parts. If parts are there, limitation is there. Hand, leg, teeth, something will give trouble. Nothing is there. Nishkalam, nirvikalpam, no conflict, no second thing is there. No trouble is there. Nirvikalpam, niravadi gaganapam, nishkalam, nirvikalpam. Such a being, hridikalayati vidwan, one who has entered, passed into that state through listening, through deep contemplation, through meditation, shravana, manana, nididhyasana, shrutehe shatagunam vidyan mananam. Mananad api shatagunam, lakshagunam nirvika, shrute shatagunam vidyan mananam, mananad api nididhyasanam. Lakshagunam, anantam nirvikalpam. As Upanishad says, you listen once and 100 times you reflect. Like a medicine, in Ayurveda also they say 100-time potency. Like that in Homeo also they say 1,000 potency and all. Like that you contemplate and it becomes powerful. Shatagunam mananam, lakshagunam nididhyasanam. The nididhyasanam is millions of times powerful. So you do nididhyasana constantly. Anantam, then you enter into the timeless realm of nirvikalpa. So that is samadhistha. Then he is called samadhistha. When one reaches that state, slowly all the actions drop. Nothing to do. The mind withdraws from the world, engagement, involvement with the world. Naturally, you abide in the inner worshipful chamber. Kriyantarasakti mapasya kitako, like the butterfly as a pupa. It stays in that nest, cocoon, and comes out as a very beautiful butterfly. But when it is inside, it is like an ugly creature. And comes out as a butterfly, beautiful butterfly. Like that, the yogi also, giving up all the actions, engagements, involvement with the world, withdraws from the world. Dhyayan yathalim hi alibhavam richati tathaiva yogi paramatma tattvam dhyatva samayati tadeka nishtaya. Like that, the yogi constantly meditates on Paramatma, Brahman, A nididhyasaka or mananakara. He takes, you chant the japa, whatever japa you are doing japa, walk and meditate. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. What exists in the deep sleep state, just trying to recollect that state, and you recognize that their existence alone is there. I am the self, I am that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa. Everything is Atman, nothing else exists. Thus, contemplating the mind in that height of deep contemplation reaches a meditative state. Just do not disturb it. Like you churn the curd, and when the butter is ready to surface, keep it quiet. Like that. You contemplate and just be still. And that stillness, in that samadhi state, the awareness becomes so clear. Bodiless, mindless, egoless, still, boundless, profound, deep, cool, peaceful, profound, effulgent. It shines forth in the heart as aham, 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 hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahmamatram hi aham ahamiti sakshad atmarupena bhati. That supreme being shines forth in the heart as aham, aham, I. And that is atmani eva atmana. And how do you experience it? Is it with the mind? No. There your mind also ceases to operate. The self is experienced by the self. The Atman is experienced by the Atman. You experience the Atman through the Atman, by the Atman, by the very light of Atman. As you keep a lamp, how do you recognize the lamp? By the light of the lamp. Swabodhe na anya bodhecha. You don't need any other awareness to recognize awareness. Bodha rupa daya atmanaha. Because the very nature of the Atman is bodha rupa. It is pure consciousness. Na deepasya anya deepecha. The lamp doesn't need any other lamp. Yatha swatma prakashane. So too, once you are awakened to that inner lamp, that inner light, when you have become a lamp unto yourself, Atma Deepa, then you have your prajna, your knowing power has entered into a realm, like the bubble exploding in the ocean. Your knowingness explodes into intelligence. No more small insights, some little bit of knowing. You become one with that boundless, borderless consciousness. And that has become your real nature, that still, that shanti, that peace. And that is tushtaha. There you become, how you know that you have found the truth, that ultimate contentment comes. Swatma tripti. Samudrasyeva gambhiryam. Yoga Vasishta says. And the person realizes, he becomes Gambhira. Gambhira means majestic. Majestic like what? Like the ocean, like the waveless ocean. Samudrasyeva Gambhiryam. And his knowledge is Thairyam Meroho Ivasthitihi. Like the Meru mountain, stable, no fickleness, no movement. Like that, he has found his inner being. He knows that he knows. There are people who knows not that they knows not. That is very risky. There are people who know that they do not know. They are very humble. And there are rare beings who know that they know. And a mature seeker is in a peculiar condition. He knows not that he knows. And the master is needed to tell him that you have woken up. You don't need anything. Just be aware of it. That has to be, in our Shastra we say it has to come from the master. You should not decide. The teacher has to tell you. The teacher becomes so happy when he finds the student has really reached that state. In Viveka Chudamani, when the disciple realizes, the master tells you, "Are my dear child, the spot where you stand, the earth is in goosebumps. It is in thrill, in ecstasy, because your feet is touching it. Your mother has become liberated because you have attained it. Your family, the lineage in which you are born, it is pure. It is the most purest, holy. Kulam pavitram, janani kritartha, vasundhara punyavati chatena. Vasundhara means the earth. Apara satchit sukha sagaresmin, leenam pare brahmani yasya chetaha. One whose mind has entered into that sukha sagara, the ocean of bliss. And sukha sagara of satchit sukha sagara, the sukha sagara of existence and awareness and bliss. And such a one is a Buddha, is the awakened being, one who knows the truth. And he also recognizes his own realization by that tushti, tripti. He finds a profound tripti in his heart, contentment, no more seeking. Even if somebody tells him, you have not reached realization, he will say, thank you, I don't want realization. Why you are not doing sadhana? I am doing whatever I want, I am not able to do anything. Everything is gone. You will go to hell. Santosha. What have you found? I don't know what I have found. I have found contentment, tripti. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. Tushti. No, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, when dosha goes, santosha comes. And what is the dosha? The dosha is, what is dosha? The flaw. What is the flaw? It's the flaw. Seeking is flaw. Any kind of seeking is flaw. The last flaw is seeking God outside. Dosham ill. When that dosham is given up, ahattil in the heart, ahattodu ondri, your own aham, your own I, your own real self, you just hug the inner being. No more going towards outer things. No more going to others. No other, no another, no other thing, no other event, no other person, no other object. Atmani eva atmana atmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. Doshamil ahattil ahattodu ondri. Then what happens? Santosham undrida arul arunachala. O Arunachala, you attain santosham, not Arunachala, us. We attain santosha. We attain complete happiness. And that bliss, that happiness, that santosha is realization. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnaha tada uchyate. When one's find that tushti, that contentment in one's own Atman, that person is called sthita prajna. His prajna, when it finds happiness in the self, it becomes sthita. It stays, it abides, it moves not. Then his prajna, his wisdom, his bodha has become flickerless. It is ever effulgent, illumined. Swayam Prakasha. No more running after Porul Nadu Sutramodu Varanadi Patriulam Marul Nadal. As Bhagavan Ramana says, when the mind goes out, I want to buy this land. Even after spiritual life, why not construct an ashram? Something comes to the Maya, very, very powerful. If you accept such a power, everybody is a buffoon in her hand. Doll, she makes us dance. Why not construct an ashram? See, after this lecture, this Gita talk is so profound. We will make an ashram and a hall and every day talk. Something will come, no? That is Nadu, then Porul. For living, everybody needs money, but if money breeds money. Porul, Shutram, relatives, devotees, followers, everything becomes ultimately a problem. Sutramudu, Varnadi, racial differences, I am this, I am you, that, all that, Patri. The mind, when it involves in these things, it gains, it accrues dust, darkness, ignorance. It becomes dull. Just, you remain like this in satsanga, maximum time. The mind will become radiant. You are not doing anything. You are giving a gap. Just contemplating on the teaching. That is why they say Bhagavata Saptaha. 7 days from morning to night. No doing of anything. Constantly revolving in that. One escapes from Kala Chakra. So that is it. Do Parayana and do Pravachana like that. So, Marul Nadalatru Nidamum, constantly Tarunaruna Kadirin Arulnad Tusuga Varunalayatri Rivar. That inner sun, the splendor of the inner being you recognize. There you find the power of grace. You abide there in the heart. That is the state of a Sthira Prajna, a Jivan Mukta, an illumined being. And what are the further marks of an illumined being? The inner state of the illumined being is he has found bliss in his own self. Atmaneva Atmana Tushta. Further, when he lives in the world, how does he interact? What are his states? That is the other questions that Arjuna is posing before Krishna. The outer things, That is what Bhagavan is going to say. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhayakrodha stitadhihi munirichyate. That we will see tomorrow. Just we have to meditate this one word, Sthita Prajna. Whatever spiritual experience you might be getting, till you are established in constant peace, wholeness. Even if the whole world calls you as a great one, your own heart will tell you, you have not touched it. As Tayumanavar says, Kutram endru en ullame kothikkum paraparame. My own heart, it whispers, my own conscience, it tells, Kutram, flaw is there, still the dosha is there. The dosha is what? The mind has not completely found repose in the heart. So still that, a seeker, a sadhaka, I don't have any word. A patient you can call. We are all patients. One who is seeking peace, shanti, mumukshu. He has to put effort. Effort has two type of effort. One is outer effort, the other is withdrawing effort, sankarshana. Withdrawing from the world, uparati, that is the word. Vedanta puts it as uparamanam, uparati. The mind is withdrawn, the senses are withdrawn, actions are withdrawn. Worldly life is made more and more simplified, not complex, so that you need not think much. That way, if we put, at least the more and more we grow old, life will become amritam. As Valmiki Ramayana, Rama tells Sita, they both are sitting in Chitrakuta, the forest of Chitrakuta. Very beautiful, no disturbance, so many trees, animals, birds, the river flowing, All the political problems are not there. So there Rama tells Sita, see, it is nectarine. That is why all the kings, they renounced the royal life and came to forest like this. Idam tu amritam prahu rishayaha paradarshvana. They all gave up their kingdoms, their royal comforts, and came to forest to live like this. Because this is amrita, this is nectar. No disturbance of human psyche. See, this you will recognize only when you go to a very lone, a solitude of forest. When you constantly live in cities, you will not know how much noise the human minds are making. When you go to a place where you are least disturbed, then you will find the very quality of breath is different. The very quality of sleep is different. The very quality of physical existence is different. There is a kind of lightness, a calmness, coolness. All this conflict, disturbance of the world is not there. Even these Tirtha Kshetras, they are becoming too much crowded, because anything becomes famous, it gets polluted, corrupted. So the best Tirtha is Atman. When you find the Atma, you are Atma Tirtha. You are purified by the inner self, by the Atman. So that Tirthana, that ultimate purification we have to seek. Bhagavan's feet, Sadguru Charana, no? Ramana Charana Tirtha, they have put the name. It means Bhagavan's Charana has to purify me. That Charana means Charanam Pavitram Vitatam Puranam Ena Putastarati Tushkritani. The Veda says Charanam Pavitram. The feet of Sadguru or Bhagavan is Pavitram, it is pure. Vitatam, it is not located in some place, it is in every place. Puranam, it is the ancient most. Charanam Pavitram Vitatam Puranam Ena Putaha, purified by it. When that Charanam is kept in our head, we become purified. Virimalar Padattinai Vaite, as Bhagavan himself is asking Arunachala, keep your feet in my head, O Arunachala. Virimalar Padattinai Vaite, with Ena Putaha Tarati Dushkritani, all the sins, all the actions, all the troubles that he has accrued through many births, they are all cleansed when that feet of the master is kept in the head. And that feet is not this physical feet, it is Atma Jnana, which will not allow the ego to arise, the I to arise. So that is Tirtham. It purifies you. And that Tirtham is our own inner being, our own inner self. Once we have found it, we have become Tirtha. Tirtha means E Tirthani Pracharanti Srikavanto Nishanginaha. The Veda says Srikavanto Nishanginaha. I am not going to Srikavanto Nishanginaha. Nishanginaha, we can say Nisanginaha, Nisanginaha. Those who are totally detached, totally renounced. And Tirthani means they are moving about in the sacred spots. No, they are Tirthani. They are the purifying Tirthas. They move about here and there. Vasantavat lokahitam charantah. They move about in the world with compassion, purifying everyone. So that we will continue tomorrow. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala.